Good evening, friends, and welcome to the brand new Sunday segment called BTS and a Brew. Today, I am drinking Dogfish Head 60-minute IPA. Of all of the IPAs, it is my least favorite. Of all of the Dogfish Head IPAs, it's my least favorite IPA. I like first 120-minute, then 90-minute, then 60-minute. That's not why you're here. If you're a regular here on the channel, you know that I have started numerous series that I never once made a second video of. And that's just part of what you get when you come over here to www.youtube.com/rcwninja. You know, that's part of it. But I am excited about this series, and I hope we keep it going. Let's dive right in. It's been a good week of filmmaking. So March 30th, Monday, had my birthday vlog. Then I dropped the photo challenge, getting comfortable in Adobe Lightroom. That one was amazing. Getting comfortable in Adobe Lightroom with Becky. I love that. Making a homemade mask and declaring that I needed a haircut. Then Amber gave me the haircut. Amber, you crushed it. Thanks so much for doing it. And then yesterday, I did a little short film called The Countryside of South Central Pennsylvania. And so that's what we're gonna go through right now. We're gonna look at that. So I turned off the color grade and adjustment layers, so you're just looking at it, C-log straight out of camera right now. To answer your question, yes, I did shoot the entire thing by myself. I didn't have another filmmaker there with me. Though that would have made it significantly easier. The most interesting thing, and the reason I have some of these BTS shots, is because I was recording audio through my phone, which I would start recording. I'd normally give a little woo, so I could sync it up easily, and then I'd put my phone down my pants, like on my leg, so I could get that pedaling sound that you hear in a lot of these shots. Almost all of it was shot in 4K, which makes this 15:35 about like a 27 when it's completely as wide as it can go. But I just wanted higher resolution because, especially because I was going to be getting so small in the frame in some of these. I think there's 2 shots that I did in HD so that I could get the full 15 millimeters. I'll talk about those when I come up to them. This first one was easy, but the interesting thing about this one is that you can hear the pedaling before you see me come on screen. I really like that. So it does a good job setting it up. Also, it's a school. I mean, granted it was a Saturday, but it's completely empty. Schools have been shut down. That was like meaningful to me. Then there's this beautiful road with these awesome trees on either side. There's a cemetery on one side, and it's just a straight road. It's really fun to try to go fast on. And I was, as you can see, cutting to the music a bit. Sometimes the cut had to be driven by the shot, and sometimes, as often as possible, I'd let the music drive it. I did actually get a shot in between there that I ended up not using because there's 2 reasons. Here's the shot. That sounds great. You can see a lot of shake in there. That was probably the first driver of not wanting to use it. Even though I do love the idea of the shot, I was like biking and pointing the camera up, and I didn't keep it as stable as I thought I did. But the second thing was I did actually end up wanting to see myself as a rider in every single shot, just as like a filmic motif. So shot didn't work for that reason. This next shot, I got a cool behind the scenes shot of how I set the camera. I kind of jammed the camera into this fence. And I was pretty proud of that. So this shot, this is out of order. I set up this shot first. And this is one of the shots that I had to put in HD because I wanted it to be as wide as possible to get as much of this corner as possible. And this is the first shot where you realize that I am serious about disappearing out of the frame before I cut. So, but while I had set this shot up, I noticed these, what are they? I don't know, sorry Dad, I don't know what those are. Daffodils? Daisies? Or flowers? I noticed these flowers and I was like, that'd be a sick shot. Focused on the flowers, but then, you know, I ride past. So this was actually an interesting shot to get though, because as you can see here, I set it up, I went up to go and get it, and I think the first time I did it, a car drove past right as I drove past, which kind of ruined the point of this, which is supposed to be like we're alone out in nature. There is one scene in this where I incorporated another person. I don't know if you saw that when you watched it originally. Yeah, so I had to redo it. Funnily enough though, right after I cut the shot, thankfully I left frame, because then look what happens. Boom! Little, what is this, Audi? Yeah, this Audi. Beautiful car, but almost completely ruined that shot. You'll see that as a theme, like that was something that definitely kept on happening. This one was hands down, took the longest. How long is this clip? 6 minutes. This was rolling for 6 minutes, just waiting for me to go. And so you can see here, there was a runner. There's that runner. I see you, runner. So I was just waiting for the runner to go, and then there was another biker, which actually ended up being one of my friends, and she rode by, and then I walked into this field, and I got my camera back, which was how I shot up every single one of these shots. A couple of you asked, how much longer do you think you had to ride in order to like ride past, come back? I think it was probably only about 2 miles extra. I think it was a 15-mile ride. I think I ended up doing about 17 miles. I love these little purple flowers in this field, and so I set up this shot. Again, just focus on the flowers, springtime, that sort of vibe. This one, corner of Epley and Brindle. This is probably my second favorite shot in the film. I just love that you can see the mountains in the background there. I like the way the street sign, the intersection looks. The clouds obviously look amazing, as this guy at the end here points out. Yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah. Which I love that human interaction that I threw in as an outtake then at the end. That one was super easy because the camera's pretty close to me. This one, as you can tell, the camera was very far away from me. Thankfully, the road kind of snakes here, so the camera is actually sitting right next to the road. That obviously made it easier for me to come back to the camera. I didn't have to walk through this field. But I just absolutely love this farm right there. I think that is just the most serene looking farm in the middle of a field. When you come over this and you're just on this ride, you see that farm, you just see this expanse stretching out. It's a beautiful time. But this is my favorite shot because I'm so small in the frame, but I'm still there obviously, but just a small little guy riding there. Good thing I was wearing red. Would you quit with the cold words? This one was cool. I almost didn't stop for this one, but I just really like the way that there's those stripes in the rocks. And I like that it kind of showed this different, there often are a lot of rocks just in the middle of these farmers' fields. Wanted to showcase that about Pennsylvania. This is the shot where someone else gets introduced. You see another cyclist coming the opposite way than me. Here is one of the times where you definitely wouldn't be able to hear my sprocket making that clicking noise unless I had audio on me. So, just one of those little things. I was pretty proud of that. I was proud that I decided to take the extra step and record audio. This shot is also one of my favorite, but for a different reason. It's because I had to key out that piece of trash that was there. And I was nervous about it because they actually cross over that piece of trash, and I was afraid that it was going to be too noticeable. But it ended up not being noticeable at all. Right, cross over. If I go frame by frame, you can see the front wheel deform a bit right there. Because that piece of trash was there, but nothing, anyone would ever notice without it being pointed out. Oh, the other thing I should say about this, it was really supposed to be, interestingly enough, a shot of me going the other direction, going down that road. But unfortunately, this car didn't know I was making a movie. Yeah, sometimes that's what drives the decision. This one was another one that I wasn't gonna get, but I just thought it was cool that there was a lake. And then in between here, I had actually wanted to get this really cool river shot where I was gonna walk out into the middle of the river, set up the camera in the middle of the river, and it would have been, you know, looking at me on a bridge as I rode over the bridge. But there's these electric lines that go over top of it, and I had never heard of electromagnetic induction. So the electric lines were electrifying everything, including my bike and all of the stuff. And it was like shocking me, and I was getting freaked out that there was something wrong and that wasn't supposed to be happening, which it turns out it was fine. But yeah, I didn't get that shot because I got nervous that I was gonna get electrocuted. So that was a bummer. Then we go to this shot. Interestingly enough, this one was supposed to be cooler than this. When I stopped here and set this up, the sun was partially covered by the clouds. So half of this field was shadow, half of it was bright. It's just one of those things where like, I didn't set up the shot quick enough. This is also the only other HD shot in the piece, but didn't set up the shot quick enough. By the time I started riding, sun was completely not blocked by the clouds, so I didn't get to get that kind of cool effect of like dark and light. Then the very last shot, it's not that long just randomly. That is actually, as soon as I disappear over the hill is when I cut the shot. But obviously, and especially on YouTube, you can't see it, and you can barely even see it, you know, increase here to 600%, but that's me, right there. As soon as I disappear, I cut it, and yeah, that's that. I wanted it to be an homage to the countryside in Pennsylvania. I feel like it was that. Also, my dad is the one who got me into cycling as an adult. Wanted to be a bit of an homage to him. Beauty and isolation and the hard and the good of this time. That is Brew and a BTS. BTS and a Brew. I forget what it's called already. Thanks for being here. See you tomorrow.